Gracious and loving God, on this day, our Founders' Day, we give thanks. We give thanks for those who had the original vision to see a school thrive in this location. We give thanks for all those who have been part of the school for 18 years and have given of their time, their talent, their sweat and blood, and their treasure. We give thanks for lives that have been changed, transformed, and renewed in the school. We give thanks for the many sacrifices and the dedicated lives that have made it possible for there to be an Assam Valley school. We give thanks for every educator that has ever served in the school for their dedication and their love of teaching that has made us what we are today. And we give thanks to you, O God, for being a generous God, a God who has walked with us and guided us through both the ups and the downs. We give thanks, God, for the love, promise, and hope you have for us and for the forgiveness of our sins. On this Founders' Day, we pray for vision for the future, wisdom in the present, guidance in the everyday, love for one another, hope in the circumstances of life, peace in our hearts and in our world. Amen. On the 18th Founders' Day, it gives me great pleasure welcome Mr. and Mrs. Pandit in our midst who consented to be our chief guest for the exhibitions and very kindly agreed to attend our assembly as well. Go on to the next hymn, On the School, Your Blessing, Lord. Department in the school is one of the most active activities that we have. Our students have shown great talent in this and they have worked very hard to present a short documentary which is called The Hand That Brought the Grace.
One of the most fascinating stories behind the success of any organization lies in the fact that it is not built of bricks and mortar, but an incessant dream of some people and persistent labor of some men and women, which collectively gave birth to that vision. The history of AVS is no different. A unique blend of unyielding dreams and unrelenting toil is what prepares the backdrop of this hallowed institution. For the last 18 years, this school has witnessed the rise of many schools within. While most of us recognize this institution for the picturesque landscape, impeccable infrastructure, vibrant community of staff and children, our lens followed the indispensable sentinels of the Assam Valley School, the utility workers. On this special day, when we celebrate our 18th founders, we sincerely reflect on the collective labor of these men and women and are delighted to pay a tribute to these people through our short film, The Hands That Rock the Cradle.
The entire vocal group coming up on stage to present a musical medley of songs. Yet again, these aviators are going to present to you the different colors of India packed into one, singing different folk songs in so many different languages. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Indian vocal group.
Beauty in the ladies and gentlemen, a stride record breaker. Next up.
I congratulate all the participants and I, the administration of the institute, for having invited me and to have participated here on this great occasion, that is 18th Annual Athletics Meet. I thank you all. I think and pray to God that the students will grow up and they will reach out to the sky ad infinitum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May we also request you to kindly give away the prizes. May I now request the school captain to now... I now request the sports captain to present the vote of thanks.
My heartfelt gratitude to the 5th band from the 12th Assam Rifle. On behalf of the Physical Education and Sports Department of the Assam Valley School, I would also like to thank the Sunnyside School for the invaluable contribution to this afternoon's proceedings. Finally, but no less importantly, to each one of you here attending the 18th Annual Athletics Meet and supporting us with your cheers and applause.
तकलीफों से तो मेरा चोली दामन का साथ है। वैसे घर में और बात है? वैसे तो मेरे बात जल्दी से गिलोरी तो हम खा लेंगे, पर यह बताइए आप कौन है?
क्या मतलब है? आप मुझे ही बता रहे।
ये रिश्ते में तो आप
रुको, लगता है सब सो गए। चलो घर से चोरी करते हैं।
তুমি পঢ়িবা?
মই পঢ়িবই নাজানো।
শিকিবা? তোমাক স্কুলত নাম লগাই দিম নহয়।
মই স্কুললৈ গ'লে তুমি কাৰ লগত থাকিবা?
কলেজৰ সেই মধুৰ দিনবোৰ আকৌ এবাৰ ঘূৰাই পোৱা হলে।
ঐ উৰি যোৱা সময় ক'ত ঘূৰাই পাবি? কিমান যে কবিতা গালো।
তই একো গম নাপাও নেকি?
সঁচাই তুমি একো নাজানা?
সঁচাই একো নাজানো। ট্ৰেইনিং কেম্পত 3টা বছৰ দিনে ৰাতিয়ে ব্যস্ত হৈ থাকোঁতেই গ'ল। ইমান টাফ লাইফ। ঘৰৰ মানুহৰ লগত কথা পাতিবলৈকো সময় নাই। দিন ৰাতিৰ চিন নাই। ফুলে কয় বতাহক লাহেকৈ
We met with a terrible accident, and my prem left me all alone in this world to suffer.
In this short life, when we do not have time to love, where is the time to hate?
Let us all live happy and contented.
যাবৰ হ'ল। যোৱাৰ সময়ত মোক চকু পানীৰে বিদায় নিদিবা। তোমাৰ হাঁহিৰ খিলখিলনি, তোমাৰ মনৰ সতেজতাই মোৰ জীৱনৰ সাহস। মোৰ চোতালৰে জোনা ঠাইতে অচিনা কৈ বগৰী বহলাই বহিছে বলুকা পিয়ৰি বেলা।
মোৰ বৰ ভাল লাগে।
বাহ কোয়েল, তুমি দেখোন শুৱলা ভাষাত অসমীয়াত কথা পাতিছা। তোমাক লৈ আমি বৰ গৌৰৱ কৰোঁ।
Thank you. Well, it is my responsibility to adapt to my environment. And I feel so proud to be a part of the rich heritage and culture of Assam.
जय हो जग में जले जहां भी नमन पुनीत अनल को, जिस नर में भी बसे हमारा नमन तेज को। तेजस्वी सम्मान खोजते नहीं गोत्र बतला के, पाते हैं जग में प्रशस्ति।
वश नहीं किसी पे कोई वश नहीं, क्या जिंदगी है ठोकरों पे मार दो। मौत अंत है नहीं तो मौत से भी क्यों डरे, ये
দেখিলি তই কোট দেখিলি জীয়ান দাপোন তাতেই দেখো মই আশাৰ সপোন নিয়ৰ বিন
Lord Hadley. What did you say your name was? I have no idea. Go on with you, Miss Delahaye. I'll go off minutes, but next term I mean to have enough of these theatricals.
Oh yes, here it is. Here's the name.
What did you spider? Idiot, your aunt's not here. Dad! Dad!
My dear son, come give your old man a hug.
Oh, where have you come from, Dad?
From town, my lad. I have a chat with you and to bring you your check.
Oh, thanks, Dad. You're a break. I've got a foreigner. Foreigner? Well, what's my name? Torres Duciadad Torres. What am I? Irish? No, English. I'm the Portuguese. A widow from Brazil. And a millionaire.
It's a tough day.
Please, not a take on my time and like it. Sit down, sir. I am not in and I ask you to sit down. I didn't mean that. What I meant is that they'll be much happier together, alone. Besides, I was beginning to fear you wouldn't get 5 minutes alone.
Don't mind me. I just wanted to work with my boy here.
Oh, then I'll run to the garden and see the roses and primroses and cabbages and things that God's when. During his illness, from whom? From Lord Fanford Babley. Lord Babley? A gambler too? Not at all. But Auntie, if ever we meet,
You want to bring an end to me, or so do I! I won't violate that donkey behave reasonably. I know all of that, but he can't. He doesn't know how to. As for Mr. Lowington, you've had enough time with me. Now it's Kitty's turn.
now it's your turn.
Yes, now it's your turn, Kitty. Go ahead.
And Amy and Charlie are in love with each other too, but you don't object now, do you?
No, of course not.
You, oh dear, you dear thing. Now, Jack, do go away.
Father, did I?
And you'll get his consent for us now, won't you?
I'll do my very best, my dear.
Now, you can't say no now.
No, not now.
Then we'll go find Mrs. Pettigrew and send it to you at once. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta, my dear. Now, what do I do?
Now, one of you, all of you, come and stay and dine at my place.
That would be delightful.
Grand idea. Thanks awfully, sir.
You will return with me in the carriage alone, John.
No, it's impossible. No, I can't. My late husband so intimately.
And I'm as sorry as anybody else, but I trust Jack with my life. Indeed, then he must wait till I'm his mother.
Mother?
Yes. John and Lucia, in deceiving me, as much as anybody, has, however, done me the honor of recollecting an old...
These distinguished guests, parents, teachers, boys and girls. Those of you who have been witness to the spectacular performances put up by our exceedingly talented students, as well as seen the exhibitions which serve as just a tip of the iceberg of all the activities our students are involved in, will agree with me that these have been a marvelous 2 days. This reminds me of an advertisement that was made by Tata Steel a decade or so ago, which showcased all the different areas that Tata Steel was involved in, and the advertisement ended with the byline, "We also make steel." In a very good way, AVS follows the same philosophy, where our students are given every opportunity to learn and persevere in activities and sports they are interested in. But when it comes time to pull out all the stops and produce good academic results, our students nor our teachers ever let us down. This will also be apparent through the course of this morning when you see the number of awards given out to our students today. Again, these are just a few of the awards that have already been given out. Some may wonder why a whole education approach is so important, because when they leave school, marks are the only thing that really matter. But it is through exposing students to activities, sports, adventure, social service that we are able to educate the heart and the mind, which is essential for preparing our students for life and not just for the next exam. I will not go on for much longer because I believe that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And what better way to prove this point than to have students come up here and speak to you themselves on what they have learned at AVS. Before I yield the floor to them, may I request you to stand for the first hymn of the day, You Are My All in All, which will be followed by a prayer by our outgoing school captain, Aman Agarwal.
Good morning, everyone. I request the congregation to join me in a prayer. On this day, our Founders' Day, we give thanks. I thank those who have the vision to see a good person in each child, a dedication to work for the progress of all students in this community. I pray for the school and for all the people committed to this school, be it the Board of Governors, teachers, parents, or our very own utility worker. God bless us with your grace. God bless the parents who have put their faith in this school for their children's education. God bless this institution so it provides its students with the best what the education world has to provide today. God bless the Assam Valley School with a vision for the future, wisdom in the present, guidance in the everyday, love and care for one another, and respect for all. Falling to the dictum, truth is strength. Amen.
Rishiraj Das has been the head boy for the past year, and in my short time here, I have nicknamed him the Omnipresent One, as he is everywhere. Wherever there is an issue that needs to be resolved, Rishiraj comes to the rescue. He is a brilliant actor, as I'm sure all of you have seen last evening, and a dedicated social worker. I give you Rishiraj Das.
Respected Chief Guest, Chairman of the Governing Body, other members of the Governing Body, Head of School, distinguished guests, teachers, parents, my fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my singular honor and privilege to stand here and address the gathering for the last time as the outgoing head boy on the splendid occasion of the 18th Founders' Day celebrations of the Assam Valley School. As the curtain falls on the 17th academic year and the school prepares for a new beginning, from going from better to best, and when I try and reflect on the years gone by, I consider myself fortunate for having lived and experienced a complete AVS journey. I had the opportunity to live my AVS days as a young Tihu boy, a junior in the senior hostel, a senior among the seniors, and then in the final year as a student leader. My journey has thus helped me to understand my fellow mates, and most importantly, my younger mates even better, and serve to their needs. This has in fact been my greatest strength and my weakness as well. 8 years of my life spent in this temple of education, in this educational paradise of the Northeast. It is nostalgia that is overwhelming me at this moment. In all these years, as I grew up, so did the school evolve. Amongst many, I too was witness to the transformation of the school, which had come from nowhere to become
one of the best co-educational schools on Indian soil. Years passed by, and then in the final year of school, this boy was entrusted with the position of head boy with enormous hope and belief. With it came responsibilities, challenges, criticisms, but most importantly, sacrifices. Sacrifices of my own for others. I learned to live and work for others. I choose to regard the responsibilities and the challenges that came by as a student leader as great delight, for it provided me the opportunity to explore life in so many ways I never did before. And of course, it will always be one of the most memorable times of my life serving this great institution. At this juncture, I extend my deepest gratitude to our former headmaster, Mr. D.N.A. Mountfort, for having entrusted this 17-year-old boy, son of the Northeast, with this position and providing me the opportunity to serve this institution. No less, my heartfelt gratitude to all the teachers for trusting and believing in me, and my fellow aviators for this kind support always. At this point, when I look down from the top, I see myself in each and every one of the boys. I see a great deal of myself in each of them, from class 6 onwards, the senior most. For I too had lived those moments, I too had lived those times which they are living at present. I too had been party to all the activities for which the boys department is so famous for. Our parents know it well. Moments that I will cherish forever. As an aviator, I've always strongly believed in the vision of the school, the vision of the founders of the school, to produce leaders from the northeastern part of the country who will lead and who will serve the people of the 21st century nationally and globally. We have always been taught that what really matters is the value that one can bring to society, to institutions, and to organizations that they are or they will in future will serve. My education has thrown up many qualities in me I thought I never had, and it has nurtured it for my life, for my new life that I will step into very soon. I've learned to live life with fullest satisfaction. I've learned to live with the present rather than living in the past. In few months from now, my journey at the Assam Valley School ends, and so is the case with 92 of my fellow classmates. But we shall always remain indebted to this institution, for it taught us to live life. May the Assam Valley School continue to shine forever. Thank you.
You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel, not to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all.
At AVS, I was sitting on the hard steps of the balcony of this auditorium, unable to understand the long speeches. Here I am today, making a speech myself on the last day of my last founders at AVS. Good morning, respected chief guest, members of the governing body, guests, HOS, head of school, parents, teachers, and fellow aviators. 1st April 2005, I was 9 years old when I had been busy unpacking in a dormitory in Tihu, the junior school, all excited to get on with my first day. At that time, I was sure of only one thing, that I would always lose my way and get lost in this gigantic campus. But in the course of my journey, first as a Tihu kid, then as a junior, then as someone in between, and then finally as a member of the graduating class and a prefect, the gigantic campus gradually felt and became smaller day by day. However, there were many, many moments of uncertainty. But now, as I soon complete my last year at school, I look back at a journey that has been priceless. It has been 9 irreplaceable years, and I'm thankful and indebted to this school and everyone associated with it for molding me into the person I am today. I have seen the school grow, and along with it, I too have grown. The myriad opportunities provided by the school in academia, sport, and cultural pursuit have driven me towards a path of excellence. My experiences of traveling extensively throughout the country for innumerable debates have tremendously increased my bandwidth. The truth is that inside AVS, I complained about everything till I went out of school. At those moments, I was the proudest to be an aviator, boasting about us when people questioned the Northeast, from whether our school was located in India to if we had electricity here. This experience of leadership as the head girl has been phenomenal. I've learned that it is not about the tangible things and not the piece of metal I wear on my blazer. It is about the opportunity to try to inspire and influence the girls of the school. It is about giving back to the school and adding some creative value to the institution that has given me so much. In my journey, I have failed and let people down and realized how essential it is to fail sometimes. It has been about passing through a ring of fire and coming out strongly. The AVS experience has taught me how to respect and appreciate various communities living within these 235 acres, to adapt to any circumstances, to be prepared for the world ahead and face challenges when I bounce out of the beautiful gates of our school. I've learned to be independent and at the same time have formed some extremely precious relationships that have made
AVS has a very active and talented group of young photographers. Virtually every afternoon, you will see these young aspiring Raghurais dotting the campus and looking at common everyday objects in a completely new light. May I request Mr. Rajiv Takru to release The Eye of the Camera Volume 5, which is the latest culmination of their efforts. Thank you, sir. May I also request you to present the sports ties and games blazers to our top athletes.
It's been 9 years, ladies and gentlemen, since I first entered the lush valleys of the Assam Valley School. This last year, my 9th year, has gone in the whirlwind of memories and has been the most incredible and fulfilling period of my life. Since the innocent and the carefree days of TU House to being the sports captain of the Assam Valley School, I have come a long way. What this institute has given me, I can never fully repay back, but whatever I have done for this school, I put my heart and soul in it. Every step of the way, I've learned new things, had new experiences, and have developed as a leader. Now, as I remember that fateful evening of 3rd of November 2012, when the headmaster had bestowed upon me with the responsibility of being the sports captain of the Assam Valley School, I feel a sense of pride overwhelmed with a feeling of nostalgia. The feeling of adrenaline pumping through my veins when the headmaster called upon me to accept the badge of sports captain was incredible. His words to me were, "It's all yours now, don't let me down." It was then I realized the expectations that had been laid on me, and I vowed to do my duties and inspire others to the best of my abilities. It's a mammoth task to live up to the expectations and to inspire the dozens. In my tenure, I might not have done things as perfectly as I thought I would, but I sure have tried my level best. And as Jim Valvano had said, and I quote, "Never give up. Failure and rejections are only the first step to succeeding." From the time of marathons to the hoisting of the Northeast Soccer Tournament, which our boys have proudly won, nothing can take away the joy and pride I felt in being the sports captain of the Assam Valley School. Those were the moments where I truly felt that in the field of sports, our school, the Assam Valley School, was unique in its own right. Words cannot express to how grateful I am to this school for the numerous opportunities this school has provided me with. but I sincerely hope that my action and my work here has done me justice. The school is like a rainbow bridge, ladies and gentlemen, where you experience the myriad colors of life and develop as a person. I thank the AVS community, the teachers, my classmates, my juniors, for the numerous memories, the learning experiences, and for standing by me for these 9 years. Because this school, the Assam Valley School, ladies and gentlemen, has made me what I am today, has made me a sports person, and moreover, has made me a man. The Assam Valley School will forever remain in my heart, because this is my home. And ladies and gentlemen, you are my family. Thank you.
How often do little things in our lives have a great influence, while great things are little recognized? AVS is an epicenter of such great little things or little great things, simply because we live in an environment of unknown possibilities, where we remain mere takers, mere receivers of what our environment has to offer. Information overload, attention deficiency. Big words, yet deep meaning for different interpreters. On the occasion of this 18th Founders Day celebrations, I, an individual, a student leader, a representative prefect, I probably have a lot to say. A lot, as in an assortment of subjects to cover. To pay tribute to the end of a brilliant year gone by, or rather, to mark the beginning of another year to come. Amidst this transitory celebrations from one end to another beginning, we are here today. After 2 days of flamboyance and performance, we are here today, not to listen to some idealistic concept of utopian world where everything is flawlessly perfect. Neither are we here to talk about some ideology or visionary dream which does not correlate to the time. None of us, not me, not you, would at all be interested in the feigned self-proclaimed praises and consolations, or incidents and stories for the purpose of just to suit the occasion. This is no debate, this is no speech trophy, where I need to hit the right areas to earn my points. This is something very different. This is something very sensitive, very, very close to my heart. To be very honest, it is very difficult for someone like me today to put my thoughts into words on a day as special as this. There are so many, so much to take away, so much to leave behind. I'm sure, as a 16-year-old, the easiest thing for me would be to walk down memory lane and talk about my 9 long years of stay here, which itself is more than half my stay on earth. And then talk about how I have seen the change in and around me. So much to learn, so much to share. Right from framing my first grammatically correct sentence to writing my first letter home, I have come a long way. Because these days, it's texting home with all the wrong spellings. And indeed, there is a big difference. Because I have grown. And on a more serious note, we have grown. Right from falling in love.
The school colors are considered the Bharat Ratna of AVS. Only we are a little more generous with our recommendations. Students awarded the school color have shown exemplary performance in their area of expertise, have represented the school, have worked hard to promote and pass their expertise on to juniors, and some are even state or national rank holders in their field of sport. The English Literary Journal is not the only one of its kind to be published at AVS. Aviators who excel in language other than English bring out an Indian language literary journal as well. Mr. Khaitan, may I request you to release this journal before you present some Founders Awards to our young achievers. Thank you, sir. Now for the Young Achievers Award for Junior School, Ashmita Fukan. Best Young Pupil Award, Junior School, Anuja Barua. Most Promising Pupil, Junior School, Lei Logo. Indian Instrumental Musician of the Year, Priyam Pal.
It has always been a great pleasure for me to visit the school. What is very satisfying is to see the progress that the students have made year after year. The quality of the talent that I see among the students speaks volumes for the teachers and other people who are involved in imparting education to them, and it gives us lots of satisfaction. We have learnt over the years as the school has progressed, and we continue to try and improve the school by making changes and improvements. As you would have noticed, we have decided to discontinue with the primary school. We have plans of having central dining areas and other improvements. And this gives me a feeling that this institution has a great future, because now whenever I meet people in Delhi or Bangalore or anywhere else, the name of Assam Valley School is very well recognized. For a school which is just about 20 years old or a little less, the number of students who have passed out and joined college in other places is very few, but yet they have done quite well. These events are exercise in emotional torture for me, because I feel very overwhelmed, and with these words I don't really want to waste your time. I'll ask the head of the school to carry on with the program. Thank you very much.
Privilege for me to introduce our chief guest this morning and to welcome you, sir, to the 18th Founders Celebrations of the Assam Valley School. Dr. Bhagwati has been one of India's most distinguished diplomats and has just returned from his post as High Commissioner of India to the United Kingdom. Before moving to London, he held important positions in the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi, and then was ambassador to Belgium, Luxembourg, and the European Union. Dr. Bhagwati studied his MSc in Physics at St. Stephen's College, New Delhi, and then for an MS at Finance at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, followed by a doctorate in Finance at the prestigious Tufts University of the United States. These advanced degrees helped him to prepare to take up significant posts at the World Bank at Washington over 2 periods covering 11 years. But for the AVS community, Dr. Bhagwati has a very special link. He was born in Tezpur and his mother tongue is Assamese. He went to school in Delhi because of course there was no Assam Valley School in those days. His father represented Assam in the Lok Sabha and then the Rajya Sabha, and I believe that Dr. Bhagwati will be seeking to follow him into political life. We are greatly honored by your presence, sir, and for us here at school in the Northeast, your career is indeed an inspiration. On behalf of the school, may I now request you to give away some of the Founders Awards and also the most prestigious R.B. Mego Trophy for the Best House of the Year.
The sports coverage
Mrs. Kavita Khaitan, Mr. Khaitan, Mr. Victor Banerjee, Mr. Rajiv Takru, other members of the governing board of this prestigious Assam Valley School,
The principal, of course, Sonia Gandhi Mehta. The initial two words are quite familiar to all of us. Teachers of the school, ladies and gentlemen, and I keep the best for the last, which is our dear students, and of course the parents, without whom we wouldn't have the students. At the outset, I must mention that it is very heartwarming for me to be here today. I think when I was introduced, it was mentioned, I was born not far from here, in a sleepy little town called Tezpur on the banks of the Brahmaputra. I never saw it as a child because I was too small when my parents moved to Delhi. But I come here as often as I can, and last time I was here was in December 2012. Try to come once a year. When David Summerscale contacted me and I said, okay, let's have lunch and talk about what you have in mind. And he mentioned this particular function. I agreed readily when I came to understand the school is located so close to Tezpur and in my home state. What do I remember of my own childhood and school years? I think a lot of who I am and what I am was formed when I was in school. Of course, in those days we finished school in class 11, not in class 12. So I suppose with an additional year, it's an even more important part of one's life. And why is it important? Because I think we get most of our values. Of course, we get our values at home from our parents and from our elders, and also, very importantly, from our school. So I think as you go forward, those of you who are leaving soon, because you are graduating, what you have to remember to do for our society and for our country is to build institutions like Assam Valley School, wherever you are. You may not be in the field of education, but we in India need institutions. People shape institutions and people are shaped by institutions, and the core which runs through it all are values. So I think from everything I've seen since yesterday, whether it was the exhibition where the children very enthusiastically explained what they had done, and it all looked very creative, and also the play, which I enjoyed immensely, the sense I have is that this school is imparting the right values, which is to be creative, to be honest, to be hardworking. These are some of the core values that we learn when we are children. So it is really a great pleasure to be here. What does one do when one steps forward into adult life after you are through with school? I remember sometime when I was relatively young, frankly I can't remember whether I was in school or in college, that I read Tagore in translation. Although I understand Bengali, and although I can read the Bengali script, which is basically Assamese, because we chauvinistic Assamese, we have the Pak Kotaro, the R has a line through it and they have a little dot at the bottom. But I must concede that there are very few poets in India, let alone the world, who can match up to Tagore. And the Gitanjali, and my first introduction to those lines, which I'm sure many other past chief guests have repeated to you, but I love the line so much, and it has so much to do with what we need to do in life and in the world, that you will bear with me as I read the English translation. I'm going to only read a few lines out of the Gitanjali, and it begins with where the mind is without fear. In Bengali, of course, that is Chitto Jetha Bhoy Shunyo. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee with a capital T into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. I can't think of better lines to inspire young people in terms of what they could and should do in their lives for themselves, for the society around them, for the neighborhood around them, for the state around them within India, for our country, and for that matter, for the world. So I want to leave that thought with you. I'm sure many, if not all of you, have read these lines, but I took the liberty to repeat them because they are indeed very dear to my heart. See, everything we do in life has a positive and a negative connotation. When the Second World War was drawing to a close, the United States was rushing to produce the first atomic bomb, the first fission device. And the Germans were at it too. And you can imagine if the Germans had got the atomic weapon before the Allies, Nazi Germany would have won, and God knows where this country would be, where the world would be. Maybe God knows, that's why the Americans reached it first. But I want to bring to your attention, again, these are well-known stories, but I want to repeat them. There was a man called Bob Oppenheimer. Bob obviously is a short form for Robert. He was leading something known as the Manhattan Project, not far from the Los Alamos laboratories. And the first time that the first fission device, I'm sure those of you who are doing physics understand fission. You break up the uranium atom and it releases immense amount of energy because mass is being converted to energy, and all of you are familiar with the famous Einstein equation of E is equal to mc squared, where c is the velocity of light, and therefore you square the velocity of light, you get a tremendous amount of energy. So when Oppenheimer saw the flash and this explosion in the deserts in southern United States, you will be surprised, those of you who have not heard of the story, that he thought of the Bhagavad Gita. And the first lines that he articulated were from the Bhagavad Gita, not in Sanskrit of course, but in English. You see, when Krishna was vacillating, can I kill Duryodhan, who is my cousin? Should I fight against Drona, who is my teacher? Arjun was vacillating. Krishna said, look, you are on the side of Dharma, and those on the side of Dharma have to eliminate those who propagate and stand for adharma. Since Arjun was vacillating too much, at one point Krishna appeared in his divine celestial form, and Oppenheimer, funnily and curiously and strangely enough, quoted from that part of the Bhagavad Gita to those around him, and you're all familiar with some of the big names at that time in the Manhattan Project. Enrico Fermi from Italy, a great engineer and of course very famous for wireless. So he said, Krishna telling Arjun, said, I am become the destroyer of worlds. Sometimes you have to destroy to create. And why did Oppenheimer say that? Because he had a grim foreboding of what would happen with this atomic weapon, which is that it might be used in anger against defenseless citizens, as it was in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, as a scientist, he worked hard to reach the atomic bomb, but as a human being, he was worried. Are we God? That's why he referred to Krishna from Gita, saying, I am become the destroyer of worlds, should human beings be destroyer of worlds. But the point I'm making to you, dear students, is that everything you do has two sides to it. So do it with the best of intention, do it with the best of purpose, and you'll probably reach where you would like to be. Talking about values and coming back to India, you know, every now and then we look down upon ourselves, we feel down about our roads, about our power situation, about employment. But believe me, we are a great civilization. I don't need to tell those of you who are history buffs about the range and extent of Emperor Ashok's empire. It stretched from what is Afghanistan, because there is those of you who are doing relatively modern Indian history of the British period. Sometimes there was a sense given by the British that India never existed in the shape and form that it does today, and but for the British would never have existed. That, unfortunately, for those who propagate that point of view, is factually incorrect. Emperor Ashok's empire was almost as great as that of modern day India. He didn't have southern India, and during the what is known as the golden age of the Guptas, again the empire was as large as modern India. So India has been and has existed. Yes, of course, it is true that we have the kind of diversity that nobody else has. You know, when I talk to people about Indian languages outside India, they're very confused. They seem to think that we have multiple dialects. I finally got this point across in a speech in Oxford, and you can imagine that these are university dons, and some of them have been in academics for 30, 40, 50 years. They finally appreciated that India has at least 11 scripts. You see, French, Spanish, Italian, English, they're all in the same script. It's the Roman script, which we use too for English. But I don't know about you, but I can't read Tamil, because I can't read the Tamil script. And similarly, those who read the Malayalam script can't read Gurmukhi or the Urdu script. So this is a great experiment. So let us have patience with ourselves and with our country. That this is a great country with 11 scripts, at least 26 languages. And I don't want to get into the details of what language was spoken in what court in India. But those of you who are interested in history should look at that, because while one does not want to make a case for Indian exceptionalism, but there is something to be said about how difficult it is to govern in a country, and that is why you have every now and then, you know, dear students, you must be impatient with this call for another Telangana. You want India to progress scientifically in development terms, and you say, you know, one more state, one more whatever. Even in Assam, there are some tendencies to seek statehood for some parts of Assam. I have all sympathy and patience for them, but at the same time, one needs to bear in mind that we have at least 3,000, if not 5,000 years of history. But coming to the Middle Ages, at the time of the Sufi poets, I just want to repeat a few lines. I will say them in Hindi and translate into English for those who are not familiar with Hindustani. It's more Hindustani. And it's referring to differences amongst people who practice different religions. Koi कहता है कि मस्जिद में आ. That is, someone says, or some people say, you should go to a masjid, to a mosque. Koi कहता है कि मंदिर अच्छा. Some others say that temples, obviously Hindus go to temples, it's a better thing to do. कोई और कहता है कि गिरजा में जा, go to a church. So the Sufi punchline on that is, मुझे इन सब बखेरों से क्या, मैं तो ख्वाजा की दीवानी. For those, दीवानी is a word which can't really be translated, but it roughly means that I'm devoted to the Almighty, to God. What do I care whether it's a temple, a mosque, or a church? So these are our traditions. This is our thinking. So when you have this silly thing in Muzaffarnagar, silly and also at the same time demonic, because some people die. So dear students, you should empathize with, absorb, internalize, feel and behave as our Sufi saints have taught us. This is Sufism of the 14th, 15th, 16th, and you're all familiar with Sant Tukaram and Mirabai and so on. For some strange reason, these lines, which are very, very simple and very basic, appealed to me, and they were made famous. The lines, of course, are old by a Pakistani group led by, I think the brothers have passed away, the Sabri brothers. I will end, I know that lunch time is upon us, and you young dear students are hungry, as you should be, by reminding again us about our heritage. Because as by definition, those of us who are older will pass on from this planet, you will inherit it. So let me end with 3 lines from the Brihat Upanishad, which is roughly 900 BC. So, these are the things which we are proud of. The first line, and I'll translate each line by turn, is Asato ma Satgamaya. O Lord, from untruth lead me to truth. Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. From tamas, which means the pleasures of the flesh, etc., lead me to light, because light is equivalent to God, darkness is equivalent to Lucifer or to the devil, so lead me to that light. Mrityurma amritam gamaya. Mrityu is obviously death. All of us who are human, or anybody who is alive, has to die one day. Lead me, O Lord, to immortality. Immortality of the soul, obviously, the body always has to perish. And after that it is Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is 900 BC. The first Shanti is for the plant kingdom. The second Shanti is for the animal kingdom. The third Shanti is for human beings. This is our heritage, my dear students. I hope you will imbibe all this along with everything that you are studying, working towards, and enjoying in the school. Thank you so much.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of the 18th Annual Speech Day, as well as the Founder Celebrations of 2013.